It doesn't have to be the blue iris. It could be weeds in a vacant lot or a few small stones. Just pay attention. Then patch a few words together and don't try to make them elaborate. This isn't a contest, but the doorway into thanks, into silence in which another voice may speak. Here we go. Friends, we welcome you. There are 4 of us, and so that constitutes a quorum, so I would just note that we constitute a quorum, and our first order of business is to... Excuse me? The first order of business, thank you, is to approve our agenda, to adopt our agenda, and so I need a motion to adopt our agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All righty. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The motion carries. Now we're going to swear in George Sawyer, our newest member of the Board of Adjustments. So George, I'll send you over to Kayla. She's gentle.
It's Angie, not me.
Angie's not so gentle. Be careful.
So George, you can just come right in front.
Angie's the one who does the swearing.
Do you, George Sawyer, solemnly swear or affirm you will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and you will faithfully discharge the duties as a regular member of the Board of Adjustment?
Oh, we got, you missed it, George.
Yeah, you'll have to repeat that.
We had the wave behind you.
Josh, did you get that on camera?
We had the celebratory wave. I didn't know you got sworn in with the fan club.
That's the only
None of the rest of us had a fan club. Oh my gosh.
They're the only
Didn't know we had
ones that are here.
celebrity
I'm
here
your
today.
fans, don't worry.
We have some minutes from February 22, 2024, and they were sent out by Angie. Thank you this week. And so again, we need a motion to adopt those minutes. Is there a motion to adopt those minutes, February 22, 2024?
I'll do it. Thank you.
Is there a second?
Second.
All righty, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries. Thank you. And our next order is the approval of the variance request. It is the variance request, and I'm just going to read this for the record. It's VA 2023-03, a variance request submitted by John Hennis on behalf of the property owners Dowd Montreat LLC to Chapter K, Article 4, Section 2, 4A of the Montreat General Ordinance to increase the approved graded area from 40% to 85.2%, and to Chapter K, Article 4, Section 24J, the Montreat General Ordinance to increase the approved development intensity ratio from 0.3 to 0.472 on property in the R2 zoning district located at 325 North Carolina Terrace, approximately 960 feet east of the intersection of North Carolina Terrace and West Virginia Terrace, and described as PIN 0710965-982-00000 within the town of Montreat. And so I would entertain a motion to approve this written order of approval for this variance 2023, VA 2023-03. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Opposed.
Let the motion reflect that there are 3 ayes and 1 opposed.
Is there any discussion on the motion?
Oh, I'm sorry. You want to have some discussion? Sure.
Okay, okay.
So, Ed, can I ask why you opposed the motion, the written order?
Sure. I still disagree with the original approval of the variance.
No, the approval has been issued. That's done. The written order is the record of the decision.
So why is she asking for yay or nay votes then?
So the state statute says that written orders must be adopted by the Board of Adjustment as part of the record of the decision. The way that the town's legal counsel has interpreted that provision is that the board formally votes on the approval of the written order instead of the chairman just signing it
Will
independently.
you have 3 yeses?
Well, I guess
I'm not trying to be difficult.
nope, that's all right.
But
It's the way it's written is what you guys are voting on, not the decision itself. It's already been reflected in the record, evidentiary record of the hearing, the minutes, and the order that you did not vote in favor of the variance. This is the record of the
well,
variance.
then why did he ask for yay and nay then?
Because that's what the legal counsel has asked us to do, is to vote on the adoption of
So
the
I had
written
the
order.
option of going yay or nay. I'm confused. I'm not an attorney. I'm just confused. He asked yays, nays. I voted
But what
nay.
I'm hearing is that the nay is because of the original decision.
Okay. Do I have to give a reason?
I mean, it would be,
I mean, you asked me. I wasn't going to, but you asked me. I'm not, let me ask you this. Is it because we need 4/5, 80%? Okay. If I abstain, would that make a difference?
that's fine, that's count.
Okay,
that's
you
the
know what?
affirmative.
For the record, I'm going to go ahead and vote yay
Okay, thank
to
you,
make this
thank you,
move forward. And we don't get stuck on that point,
thank you.
okay? All right? So
All righty.
I'd like to change my vote to yay, but I still would like some discussion.
Sure. So please, go ahead.
All right, so I do have a question for Kayla, but there's a couple things I want to say. I want to say that I felt the hearings were open and they were fair, absolutely. And when I received the final draft, I did speak with the chair and with the town zoning
Ed,
administrator.
I'm sorry, could you speak in the microphone?
sure, okay.
I have a hard
Okay,
time
maybe
hearing with my hearing
okay,
aids, so.
sorry, okay. So I just want to say, even though I voted no at the original evidentiary hearing, I do feel that the hearings were open and they were fair, okay? When I received the final draft, I spoke with the chair, and I did speak with the town zoning administrator and voiced some concerns I had along with the request some clarifications, and those concerns were answered to my satisfaction, and they were all able to clear up some questions I had on how the process of enforcement of the variance works. And I know that the members of the board would agree, but I want the listening public to know that the town of Montreat is fortunate to have Kayla DeCastrina as our zoning administrator. She's professional, she's knowledgeable, and she is very responsive to our questions and inquiries. So Kayla, here's the question. Can you explain how you, as the town's zoning administrator, ensure that the applicant is complying with the variance request when they begin development of the site?
Yes, so a variance is not a development approval. A variance is granted by the Board of Adjustment for a specific condition. That doesn't give them the right to go disturb property, erect their structures. After they get the approval of the variance, then they have to come for their development permits. So that's their zoning permit, stormwater permit, hillside development, any actual development permit that gives them the rights to go onto the ground and disturb it. So that's one difference, is that the Board of Adjustment is responsible for making the quasi-judicial decision that grants the exception. The administrator is responsible for ensuring that the applicant's plans are in compliance with not just that exception, but all of the town's ordinances that apply. So, particularly with variances, when the applicant comes in for their development permits, after the variance is granted, they submit a site plan. That site plan has to match what they were approved for and address any conditions that the board may have placed. So we verify that what they have proposed and what they're seeking development approval for matches the variance. Does that make sense? Okay, so following that, they get a full review of all of the town's ordinances that apply to the property. Stormwater management, hillside development, anything that applies to that development, their application, their plans, their narratives, anything that they submit is evaluated against those requirements. And then if everything is satisfactory, they get their development permits. Throughout the life of their development permits, depending on what the specific project is, there are inspections with both the building inspector and the stormwater administrator. Most developments have to submit what's called an as-built survey. Again, this is dependent on the type of development it is, and also the variances. If there was a variance approved, it's very case dependent. So one example is if you pull a stormwater control permit, you have to submit an as-built survey at the end of your development to demonstrate that you installed your stormwater management measures the way that you were approved to do. And if there was a deviation, why? And is that deviation acceptable? So that's one example. So we monitor it. And, full disclosure, I'm a contract employee with the town. I'm only here 2 days a week. So you don't have full-time staff. And so I'm not out there every day. Development permits is not the only thing that I do for your town. So if you guys see something that you have a question about or that you're concerned about, you call me or you call Angie and you let us know. And we're happy to answer your questions, happy to drive out and take a look, make sure everything's in line. So that would be the most specifics I can get without going on and on. Does that answer your question?
It does. And so what you're saying, the combination between your being on staff 2 days a week, making a run up there if you find it necessary, or responding to any residents' concerns, which I do know from personal experience you will immediately address, keeps the job on target.
And the fact that we have a full development review process. They don't just get a permit. Everything is looked at when they submit their application package. You guys are really only seeing one piece of it. I mean, I just took 6 hours to review an application package today. So, there's a whole other level of review that goes into this before they get their development permits.
Just
Thank you.
a year or so ago, I went through this myself where I had to get a special stormwater permit, and then I had to get an engineer to draw out the process of how to manage the water. An engineer had to come back and look at it once it was constructed and built before Dan, the building inspector could come out and inspect it. So it was annoying. It was annoying, but very
Yeah.
good.
So what I hear you
Thank you.
And I had to make some adjustments because
I know, I closed I didn't issue
being
your
annoyed
permit,
by it. Yeah,
but I
so-
closed it out.
And,
So
and I
yes,
was
know.
grateful because I appreciated the effort at making sure that water was managed correctly.
So what I hear you saying is you just don't wait for problems to maybe come to your doorstep. You try to stay in front of any issues as long as your schedule allows and things are brought to your attention.
No, so we have you have to report to me that there's an issue.
Right, but you
So-
on your own way may go up there and find something which you don't do that.
Unless it's a scheduled inspection. I don't have the capacity to drive around town
Okay.
looking for violations.
Schedule meaning you give them notice that you're coming?
Yes. When they get their permit, I give them the schedule of inspections that
Oh,
they will
okay,
get
there's-
from me.
oh, okay, that's interesting.
And they are responsible,
I understand.
and I work with the building inspector to make sure that they're following that inspection
Okay.
schedule with me.
Okay,
I
now
can't speak
understand.
for what the building inspector
No,
does.
I understand better.
Only for the inspections that I do
Sure.
for the ordinances that are under the
So-
zoning
So
administration's
these are
responsibility.
pre-planned, scheduled
Yes.
inspections?
Yes, and
Okay.
but if there's an issue,
Right.
you call me and I will go out
In
there.
between the scheduled, okay, I
Yes,
understand. Okay,
exactly.
that's understandable. That's better. Yeah, I like that.
It's the best way to do it with the amount of staff time that y'all have.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any new business?
Yes.
All righty.
I need y'all to pick a training date between now and your next meeting. Thank you.
Kayla, what days are you here?
I am here Wednesdays and Thursdays. April 4th and the 18th, I am out in the morning. April 25th, I have Planning and Zoning Commission in the morning. So my preference would be one of either the 3rd, the 10th, the 17th, or the 24th in the afternoon.
I'm sorry, my calendar is not coming up.
Assuming it is just a reader. Assuming this is my only calendar. Right.
And
Thanks,
how
Angie.
long, Kayla, do you think we need to schedule?
I would say an hour.
Afternoon, morning, you tell me
Well,
your suggestion.
let me see.
I can tell you afternoon later would be better.
Would be better. Let's
Yes.
see.
Mornings are not good.
Okay. 17. Okay, what about something in the morning or
Afternoon?
Either one. Tell me your times.
oh my gosh.
Throw them out.
I could do April 3rd oh, no, I can't do no, we've got to advertise a week in advance, so we can't do next week. Let's look at, I could do the 17th in the morning,
April?
April. I could do the 18th in the afternoon. Which one of those works better? Do you guys have a preference?
18th afternoon is my first day. But
Is your first opening?
that is my best time.
Okay, what about, you're okay?
But 17, what time?
Anytime the 18th after the 2 o'clock hour.
After 2 o'clock?
2 to 3 on the 18th.
Would that work?
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll do the
Good plan.
18th.
I
Does that
can't-
work,
Man
Angie?
who can
I
make
can't
Let me check
do
all
2
5 of my
o'clock on the
calendars.
18th.
Wait.
What'd you say, George?
I cannot do 2 o'clock on the 18th. I already have a meeting scheduled.
Okay.
That's Cottagers meeting.
3 o'clock?
Can't do it.
All right, so the
Let's go to the 17th.
17th morning,
17th.
not 8 o'clock, I'll tell you. that
11
already.
o'clock on the 17th.
I could do 11 to 12 on the 17th.
This week.
Does that work? Okay.
Going. 11
Okay.
o'clock on the
On the
17th.
17th, I will send out some information ahead of time, and we'll probably do it in the conference room. So yeah, okay. And I'll let the rest of the board know as well.
All righty. Do we have anything else on the agenda? No, we don't. Any other items of new business? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for coming.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for rooting for us out there in the,
It's always nice to have a cheering section.
Yeah,
I don't want you there, though.
yeah, we just asked that.